So now we are going to discuss about the development of appendicular skeleton. Appendicular skeleton means the bones of your upper limb, lower limb, including your pectoral and pelvic girdles. These are your appendicular skeleton. So appendicular skeleton, mostly the bones in your upper limb, lower limb are formed by endochondral ossification, and we know what is endochondral ossification. Endochondral ossification means first the mesenchyme is going to convert into cartilaginous model, hyaline cartilaginous model. Hyaline cartilaginous model are then going to ossify and give you bones. But there is an exception to this endochondral ossification in the upper limb, and that is clavicle. Clavicle, you know, the bone lying horizontally in your upper limb, it ossifies by intramembranous ossification. It directly ossifies from membranous tissues into bones. So clavicles begin to ossify before any other bones in the body. Then your femur bones are going to ossify. Ossification begins in the long bones by 8th week of intrauterine life. And the first centers of ossification appear in the center of the shaft of the bones, that is known as diaphysis. And the first centers are known as primary centers of ossification. They develop before birth at 8 weeks of intrauterine life. By 12 weeks, primary centers of ossification have nearly appeared in all the bones of the limbs. So the limb bones ossify by endochondral ossification. First, the mesenchyme is going to differentiate into hyaline cartilaginous model, and this model is going to resemble the shape of the bone adult bone into which it is going to develop. Primary centers are going to appear in the center of the shaft of the bone. This is known as diaphysis. Bony collar is going to form. And then through this bony collar, through the periosteum, vascular vessels are going to invade this primary center, and this is going to result in the formation of bone marrow cavity. Meanwhile, this is ossifying, the diaphysis is ossifying, secondary centers appear at the ends of the long bone, and these are known as epiphyses. Epiphyses are the secondary centers of ossification, and they appear at the ends of the long bone. Epiphyses and diaphyses are separated by a region known as metaphysis, and in this metaphyseal region, epiphyseal growth plate, hyaline growth plate, cartilaginous growth plate are going to form. These are going to separate epiphyses from the diaphyses, and epiphyseal growth plate are going to cause the linear increase in the length of the bones. Till when these epiphyseal growth plate are going to disappear, the length is going to increase. And these epiphyseal growth plate, they disappear by 15 to 16 years in the males and 13 to 14 years in the female, the age of puberty. And the remains are going to remain as epiphyseal line. So diaphysis, primary center of ossification appears, blood vessels cause appear, and blood vessels bring in osteogenic cell. Osteogenesis is completed, diaphysis is formed, secondary centers appear at the ends, known as epiphysis. Epiphysis and diaphysis are separated by epiphyseal growth plate, and this is going to cause a linear increase in the length of the bones. And this is going to stop after puberty. While the width is going to increase by periosteal tissue. Periosteal tissues are going to bring in the osteogenic cells and increase the width of the developing bones. So this is the growth of the bone, hyaline cartilaginous model, periosteum developing primary centers of ossification, then the secondary centers are developing. Primary and secondary centers are separated by growth plate, epiphyseal plate. Development of joints. Joints form between the the meeting place of two or more bones, and they form where osteogenesis is arrested. So where osteogenesis is arrested, the mesenchyme tissue here, they can differentiate into 3 ways. The mesodermal tissue can differentiate into fibrous tissue, and this is going to give you fibrous joint. When the mesodermal tissue differentiate into cartilage, fibrocartilage, it is going to give you fibrocartilaginous joint. And where this mesenchymal tissue forms a cavity between the two bones, it is going to form synovial joint. And the surrounding mesoderm is going to form synovial membranes, capsule, and ligament. And this is going to form your synovial joint. So 3 types of joint: fibrous joint, cartilaginous joint, and synovial joint. Where the fibrous tissue differentiates into dense fibrous connective tissue, it is going to form fibrous joint. Where it is going to differentiate into cartilage, it is going to form cartilaginous joint. And where there is going to be a formation of cavity between the two bones, it is going to form your synovial joint. Now, important correlates regarding the development of appendicular bones and your joints. Osteogenesis imperfecta. Imperfecta means imperfect and osteogenesis means formation of bones. So here there is imperfect or disorder, disarranged formation of bones. There can be hypomineralization, rickets can be present in the bones in the child, vitamin D and calcium ion deficiency in the mother as well as in the developing fetus. It can result in brittle bones, fragile bones, bones bend under the weight and they can easily fracture out. There can be deficiencies of the collagen formation and impaired collagen synthesis in these developing embryos, resulting in thin sclera and blue sclera, and there can be features seen in the teeth as well. The teeth are also deformed. So osteogenesis imperfecta is a constellation of different symptoms: brittle bones, blue sclera, and deformed teeth. Arthrogryposis is the multiple joint contractures. This also results when there is defective mineralization of the bones and defective formation of the joints. Joints are, you see their contractures are contracted and they are weak, bended joints. So now we come to an end of the development of appendicular skeleton, appendicular limb bones. If you have any question, you please feel free to ask me. So if you have any question, please ask me. Do you have any questions?